Hello, welcome to my session, Small IT Shops Challenges, Bad Things Don't Care About Size. First, I would like to thank my co-DC VMUG leaders, the user groups, all the people involved putting this awesome event together. And I also would like to thank all the attendees who took time out of their busy schedules to attend this session. Before we start, a little bit about me. I run a small to medium-sized shop at a medium-sized financial institution. I originally started many moons ago at IBM Germany. I'm currently a DC VMUG, VMware User Group co-leader. You can connect with me on Twitter. My LinkedIn is up there, or my blog, nicostein.com. I oversee a team of four staff. We have about 90 users, 2 data centers, and we're about $450 million in asset size for a financial institution that is small to medium. Today we'll be talking about 6 challenges: audits, penetration testing, security as a whole, automation, continuous learning, and team building. And let's get started with audits. First off, I do not love audits, but as a financial institution, we get audited once a year by the government. There is a heavy stress on IT, since every cent the bank and / credit union makes goes through IT. The takeaway from audits is actually they can help you improve your security postures and find out where you have weaknesses. It highly depends on the auditor. I've talked to really good auditors that have a great technical background. There are some good conversations, and you walk away with some valuable insights. Others are more like a checklist. It's hard sometimes to have a good conversation because they don't have an IT background, and that is challenging. But overall, as much as I do not like audits, they are actually good for you. They can help you improve your shop. Penetration tests is the next challenge I want to talk about. In my opinion, penetration tests are great. This is where you can really see where you have shortcomings or deficiencies. We cannot test ourselves. And again, financial industry, we have to have penetration tests performed externally. The government, NCA, wants to make sure we really have our ducks in a row, and they're great. They are more affordable than you might assume. When it comes to talking budgets, one good angle to work off with the CFO, whoever checks on the numbers, is you can't fix what you don't know it's broken. And a penetration test will usually show you that. The takeaway is obviously, if they break your network, you get a report at the end, and they show you exactly what technique they leveraged, and then you're able to fix this so it won't happen again. There is also a good amount of competition. So me and my team really enjoy the red/blue team competition. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But at the end of the day, we have this report, and we know exactly what we need to fix, so this cannot be happened again. The bad guys won't give you a report. They're just going to leverage the same security vulnerabilities and break into your data center and your data. Security. Clearly, one of the biggest struggles for every shop, especially for smaller shops, in my opinion. We don't have the budget or the skill set to have a full-time security officer who can review our security posture at all times. So this is really hard. Again, bad guys don't care about your size. If you're not good in security and they break your systems, you really are not in a good place. So what do we do about it? What can help us with this? Leverage the power from the big shops, right? One good aspect is Cisco Umbrella. I do not get kickbacks from Cisco. I'm just mentioning it. For those who are not familiar with Cisco Umbrella, Cisco bought OpenDNS a while ago, and it's marketing Cisco Umbrella DNS solution for enterprises. It is actually OpenDNS is free for use, home use, so you can use it at your home. Because it's DNS based, it already filters out all the bad targets and websites that you might go to. It gets all the information from worldwide installations of big ASAs. It feeds into Umbrella, and you as a small shop get to benefit from it, even if you don't run Cisco ASAs. Solution. Another thing is, okay. Yep. I did. Okay. Weird. Okay. Okay, from the freeware part of Umbrella. Okay. Cisco also offers OpenDNS for home use for free. It helps you into your home if you have kids and you want to make sure they don't go to websites they shouldn't be going or go to phishing websites. That is a great tool to implement. Another aspect is security logs. They are really important, but it's really time consuming and it takes a certain skill set to really go through the logs and find what is not correct. I'm really bad at looking at logs. I don't enjoy it. So one way you can deal with this is outsource it to companies who specialize it on this. You can have just security officer. They automate the log retrieval from your systems. They go through it. If something is not right, they can inform you, and it's up to your shop or yourself to really do something about it. Or you can even get further and completely outsource it, where they will take countermeasurements. Third, one of the biggest issues is using the same password. I'm not talking about Windows reuse password history. I'm talking about for accounts. So one thing we don't want our users to use the same password for Active Directory as they use it on Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok. There's chances that password wasn't a breach and it's out there. So one really easy way to implement and stop this is utilize Have I Been Pawned. It checks the password against its breach database, and if it's in case you get a notification. It's not hard to set up. We've integrated recently with a service company. The benefit with the company is it gives us report and audit, but that's all. The actually Have I Been Pawned service is free of charge. Also highly recommend using this as a private person. You can put your email address in there and get notified if your email address is associated with a breach. Automation. So automation is one of my biggest struggles. It's always between time and effort. So clearly automation is good. Everyone says you need to know how to code a little bit, you need to automate your process, and I do agree. The struggle is finding enough time to actually learn that automation part when you can just do this repetitive task in 3 hours. Yeah, to this, I really don't have a good answer to this, quite honestly. Provide this resources. There's great resource out there, Cisco DevNet, all these courses. Learn a little bit of Python, it will go a long way. Quickly touching on backups. So I do love backups, and you need to verify your backups. That's preached a lot, but you don't want to do it manually. So whatever solution you use for your backup system, see if it can automatically verify a backup and restore it. We happen to use Veeam. Sure, Backup has this feature where it will bring up a backup or replica in a virtual lab. You can run tests against this as a DNS server. You can run queries. If it's SQL, you can run SQL queries. It powers off the virtual, it turns off the lab, and you get a report. And this way you can, for yourself, but you can also prove, hey, this machine we backed up, we actually restored it, and we know it's working. Lastly, we have Skyline. It's a helpful tool. You probably have heard about it. It checks your virtual installations, vSphere. You get all the data. It detects if there's errors or vulnerabilities, and you have a nice dashboard. It's really easy to implement. One of the benefits is if you actually need to open a case with VMware, the logs are already uploaded. They can just look into it and they can say, okay, this is the problem you have, and here's how you fix it. And it comes with your licensing already included, so not extra cost for you. Continuous learning, like any shop, like any IT, we need to always learn, and that is hard, especially when you're smaller. But there are some not easy courses, but there's some easy way to make it learn at your own pace. So I highly recommend looking into Pluralsight, CPT Nuggets, get some seats. Your staff can pick the courses they like. They can learn at their own pace from it, and it just makes it easier. The other thing is the resources that are free, like user groups and conferences like this one. You get to benefit from talking to big shops and your peers. You get to learn systems or see systems that you might not otherwise even know about. If you're lucky, you might be able to get test drive. You get some free trial versions of software or systems that are not even within your realm because you're far too small for it. Later in your career, you might be running those systems, but user cons and conferences are a great way to get your feet wet for the next level. Team building. So that is, for me, the most important part. none of this matters, right? What we talked about, if you cannot rely on each other. So especially in smaller shops, everyone wears many, many hats. One of my dear friends coined the term hyperconverged administrator. Small shops, they do not have a storage admin. They do not have 3 network engineers. Everyone does a little bit of everything. So that can be great, but it's also stressful, clearly. How can we build a good team out of this? So have team events, but don't make them mandatory, right? So corporates have lots of team events. So for example, in my team, we have a standing happy hour. We just talk shop or talk about the weekend, whatever it is, but it's not mandatory. You can check in, you can stop by. And even if you never shop, there's no judgment. The last thing we all want to do is like, oh, another mandatory Zoom/team meetings after a full day of working virtually. And IT is stressful. So especially when things break, but even when they're not break. So during the harsh times, yes, you build teams that will last, but you also need to try to have a little bit of fun with it, right? It's one good thing, and it depends on your team, but my team, we're known to might have had Nerf battles, whether or not a Windows or a Mac is better, and it was decided by a Nerf battle. I'm not going to talk about the outcome, but that just kind of releases the stress and it makes it a bit more fun. One thing I also say, we all make mistakes. Don't throw your team under the bus. If you will make mistakes, and that's completely fine. I rather tell my team, rather fail clamorously on something big and we will fix it than something small that was avoidable. Lastly, lead by example. I'm not a fan of do as I say, not as I do. It's the opposite. So just whatever you ask from your team, ask for yourself as well. Make sure you lead by example and you will gain the respect. I want to thank you for this session. Last year we did a podcast on the subject on IT reality with Vince Wood and Jim Jones and me. You can check it out in this link. And others, I hope you enjoy this conference and thank you for your time.